Okay, so this Panzer IV video covers the creation of track. You want to start out by measuring about 19.5 centimeters of drywall fiber tape and just cut it off at that point. And then you want to cut it in half the long way. Just kind of flip over one of them and attach them to each other, sticky side to sticky side, with all the lines offset. And the easiest way to get these lines nice and straight, which is important later, is to look at one line, say this line, as I lay it down between these two, and just make sure that line always goes in the center. And then even if some of the other lines are like offset from each other, I won't mistakenly change the pattern of how they're going together, as long as I only watch how that goes together. And that will allow me to cut straight lines, or straight pieces of track rather. So once you have that, cut one edge off nice and flush along one of these thin lines. Take your ruler and you want a 6mm chunk of track. Just kind of put your ruler and find out which of these lines is closest to 6. And you don't have to cut along a line if you don't want to, like if the thing falls right in the center. But it's easier just to mark with your eyes which line you need to cut or be near, and then cut along that really carefully. Try to be as straight as possible. And as long as you've laid your pieces of fiber tape nice and straight, you should end up with a nice straight piece of track that looks like that. You make 2 of these. And then take some strips of cereal box. Now the width of the strips is up to you, but try to make them approximately even. I've got like 2mm strips here. That's usually what I'm comfortable working with. And take about 4 or 5 of them. Kind of lay them together in your hands. And just cut track pads out of them. And cut them like 8 to 10 millimeters each, just so you've got quite a bit extra to grip as you're placing them on the main bit of track, these pads on the main bit of track. So once you've got a pile of those, then you're going to want to start gluing them down. And I've already got this started here because I want to show you kind of where to end. But you're going to have to do it like in thirds. So glue down maybe this many pieces of track and then put a weight on the other side and just set it to dry. And then once those are dry and set, then you can continue. But it's way too hard to try to get all the pads on at once. And then you've got no way to put it down once you even get them on there. So I suggest doing it in several stages. I've got this ready for the 3rd stage, and I just want to show you sort of the operation. I've got some 2-to-1 glue here. And you can thicken up the 2-to-1 glue, but 2-to-1 is plenty thick enough, generally. And so you just want to kind of get some on the pad, or not the pad, but the main piece of track. And you can see how I'm not putting any glue on this last section here, about maybe 1.5 centimeters. That is fine. You can go a little bit closer than that. Like you can go as close as a centimeter. But, and you kind of want to make sure that you're not getting too many of these bubble popping in the holes, or else you're not going to be able to get the track to glue down. So just use the extra length to set the tracks on there. Try to be careful. You can adjust them kind of from the back or with your finger from there. And sometimes they place quite nicely. So leave about the same amount of space between them as they take up as a general rule, and that way you'll be able to get the spacing fairly even, because at least you're looking always at how much you need to leave. And I wouldn't recommend having like coffee or anything like that before doing this, because I mean, I'm going fairly quickly, but I've got a lot of experience doing this. It is quite difficult at first to get this done. So just kind of keep plugging away at it. Put it away maybe, come back to it if you're getting frustrated. Once you've got to about that much left, or you could do a little bit more, like you could put one more pad on that, but you don't need to. Set that aside to dry again. And then when that's all dry, you'll be ready for the next step. I think I covered everything important from that. So yeah, make that, and then you'll be ready for the next video. So you'll need obviously 2 of those for each vehicle. And you need about 30, approximately 30, I think 30 pads for each track section, depending on how thick or thin that you've cut them. Okay, hopefully you liked this video. If you did, subscribe to the website, and if you have any old templates that you've made up for scratch-built projects, we'd be happy to take them off your hands and give them to the public. Thanks for watching. See you soon.